Thank you for listening to my Postdoc Transformation show. Maybe you want to leap out of science and start your own side business as a runway for your better future? Then you will benefit from my free business preparation quiz as linked in the show notes. If you want to organize your marketing and selling efforts, please also subscribe to my new video podcast show, Creating Reorganized. I share my tricks from creating this show, speak with business owners who run a podcast for their business, and learn from podcasting service providers about their tools boosting our businesses. My new video podcast show, Creating Reorganized, will also be a living example of applied industrial and occupational psychology for my students in real life. And now, let's get to this episode. Postdoc Transformation. Postdoc Transformation. Postdoc Transformation. Invest in your postdoc transformation. Welcome to the seasonal show for scientists leaping into business. In every sponsored episode, we are happy to recommend employers of choice for you. Make sure to check your readiness to leap out of science with us for free, as linked in the show notes. For your career transition, we offer customized career transition e-courses and memberships also at graduate schools all over the world. Maybe yours too. And if your university isn't yet our customer, enroll in your free email course for career transition made simple, as linked in the show notes. I'm your host, Professor Dr. Eleanor Soei-Winkels, with my team who is rooting for you. And let's build your postdoc transformation with this episode. Have you ever had that moment where you look at your diligently crafted, lengthy, beautiful CV, so full of publications, prizes, and maybe even scholarships, and let's not forget the many certificates you may have collected, just like me back then? And now you wonder, why does this academic CV not open the doors that I thought it would? Well, today we're going to talk about what it really means when a business recruiter says your academic CV isn't enough, and how that realization can become the beginning of your powerful leap into business. Because here's the truth. You bring more to the table than you realize. And your scientific mindset, that might be just your most valuable asset once you learn how to translate and monetize them. Welcome to another episode of the Postdoc Transformation Show. This one is called From a Scientist to Strategist, Your PhD Mindset Determines Your Future of Work. So in this episode, I will share, number one, my own turning point from 2007. Yeah, that ages me. In my second PhD year at graduate school. Number two, why the future of work needs translators, not titles. Number three, how you can apply this insight, what it means for your daily work. And number four, ideas for your LinkedIn game, because that was something that you requested. And number five, your scientific drive is not lost. And that helps us to dovetail the self-determination theory from my lectures in industrial and occupational psychology. Number six, how you can apply all of that into your side project. So let's start with segment one, my own turning point, realizing that my scientific CV wasn't enough. And I still like that alternative title, accepting that my research would not sufficiently pay my bills. So let's go back to 2007. I don't know whether you remember, but you can ask your parents. The global financial crisis had just started unraveling. And my then boyfriend, now my husband, and the father of our two beautiful and smart kids, we were both looking toward our future. We were thinking about starting a family one day, setting down roots near my and his hometown in Germany. And in that moment, I realized something in my gut. Even though I had won research awards, had at that time 2 first author papers in high-impact journals, had a wonderful research stay in Sydney, Australia, and an eye-opening one in Manchester, England, and above all, a 36-month full scholarship of €1,278 per month. I could not afford to follow the academic track anymore. Not financially, not emotionally, and not geographically. to be honest, my parents came from Indonesia to Germany, and I never had a really good relationship with my grandparents, and I never wanted that for my own children. So for me, I pledged that I would always stay within the vicinity of my parents. And the same would also apply to the parents of my husband, right? So the prospect of badly paid postdoc positions with no guarantee of tenure in cities far away or countries far away from home was not something that I wanted or could gamble on. Hey, before we continue, we want to appreciate those who finance this valuable episode for you. I want to share with you my best marketing agent. Serving my underprivileged, underrepresented, and underserved audience, leads and clients is key for me as an Asian working mom, business owner, and professor in Germany. But I can't be marketing and selling all the time, and I have to be mindful with my own resources. So I chose Podbean as my podcasting host and monetizing provider. I'm on the Unlimited Plus plan for our PostdocTransformation show and Creating Reorganized show. With Podbean, your audience can inclusively listen and watch your podcast according to their visual and auditive needs. You can also embed your customized podcast player on your external website or use one of the beautiful website templates. You can easily share your podcast on all major podcasting directories, which allow you to reach a huge audience on their favorite devices in their countries. Podbean also has an ads marketplace, and you can easily attract and manage sponsors for dynamic ads, which are played out depending on your audience criteria. This way, you can serve your audience for free. Some of them become your clients eventually, but your advertising sponsors independently support you financially in each episode. You will see insightful stats per demographic and which episodes attracted most listeners, so you can tailor your future episodes for your leads and clients and present suitable external ads. If you want to try out Podbean for your own podcasting, DM or email me Podbean so I can share my experience and consult you. Please check it out via my link in the show notes. I only get a small financial reward if you become their customer using my Podbean link. Thanking our advertisers for their financial support, we are happy to return to our inspiring episode. And even though I had always dreamed of being a professor, I knew I had to think differently now, being an adult. And I know the next thing that I'm saying is odd in the context that I wanted to make adult-like decisions. But to be honest, it was my father who saw a job ad for a technical English translator at Aldi South, and that is the discount grocery chain, and they have the headquarters in the city next to my hometown. That was it. At the end of the day, my dad changed my career, and he said something I'll never forget. When everything collapses, like in this financial crisis globally, people still need to eat at affordable prices. So, this is a safe company that you should apply if you really mean business staying nearby. So I dove in. I researched the Aldi principle, read books about how they work, and practiced how I would explain why a psychologist and neuroscientist decorated with awards like me wanted to become a technical translator. And in the interview I said, I studied psychology and neuroscience because the brain is a black box, and I wanted to understand that. Now, I want to understand how IT systems work so I can explain them clearly to people. I did not say, I know that I'm overqualified and, to be honest, less qualified in many ways. I did not say, I need the money. I said, I can learn fast. I'm fluent in English. I've written my articles in English. I can translate complexity into clarity. So they asked me to do a sample translation on a computer. And at the end, the hiring manager said, I cannot hire you as a translator. You are too slow typing. But I can offer you another role. as an IT analyst, do you know what that is? I did not. But he explained. I was curious, and I thought, well, I'll give it a shot. I got the job. He took a chance on me. He offered me something. He betted on me. And I said yes. That was the beginning of a love story between me, IT, and people. I did not see that coming. And I share much of my experience as a case study with my own bachelor and master students in real life. Because, we're talking about how to reorganize work, how to lead in the workplace. But in short, I became the human interface between tech and the people who have to use the technology and were afraid to do so. And today, whether I work as a professor for industrial and occupational psychology, whether I coach transitioning scientists or create, record, host, produce, and market my own podcasts, I'm still that people-serving interface. That is my role. Let's pause for a moment to respect those who sponsor this valuable episode. And once you have determined your readiness to leap and want to transition into business or industries, then you can enroll in your free email course with 10 actionable, bingeable email lessons until you start your job in business. You'll get 10 emails like this. Number 1, how to leap out of science. Number 2, how to build your sustainable LinkedIn profile. Number 3, how to read social media and network. Number 4, how to research your favorite jobs and employers. Number 5, how to do informational interviews to get insights. Number 6, how to create your customized applications with ChatGPT. Number 7, how to prepare your thesis from a business point of view. Number 8, how to apply to your favorite employers. Number 9, how to choose the right job offer. Number 10, how to prepare for your new job. And did you know that we offer deep dive e-course workshops and memberships at graduate schools, maybe also at yours in the future? Ask your graduate school coordinator whether they want to book my services so that I can deliver them to you 24/7, 365 on your mobile device. And even better, if you get us paid by your grad school, we will pay you 50% recurring sales commissions. So you will earn money with us as we help you and your PhD besties to transition into business. We can build a postdoc transformation together. Woohoo! And here's the thing. I had numerous moments of feeling overwhelmed, surprised, frustrated, and sometimes even, to be honest, disappointed about myself. About, not fulfilling my potential. But it was also freeing because I had clarity. I had a vision of life. And I knew leaving academia was the right thing. And because I planned the leap in my second year in stealth mode, I was able to get my third first author paper published and to submit and defend my cumulative thesis within 38 months. So I had to rely on my parents' financial support for only 2 months. Now, enough about me. Let's zoom out a little bit and over to you. So here's your actionable prompt. What is your story of why you want to leap? You will have to repeat that story over and over again. Every time you meet someone new. Let's go to segment 2. The future of work needs translators and not titles. According to the World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs Report 2025, which we have discussed in episode 61, Prepare for Your Future of Jobs, as linked to the show notes, we are now entering an era where skills will outweigh titles. Okay? So what matters most is not what's printed on your degree, but what you can do with what you know so that you can monetize your skills for your employer. Think about it. Complex problem solving, analytical thinking, leadership, social influence, emotional intelligence. These are all capabilities cultivated in your PhD and possibly postdoc journey, but they are hidden unless you make them visible. The business world doesn't always understand principal investigator or high-impact journal, but it deeply understands building from scratch, managing ambiguity, and leading under pressure. So when you are leaping into business, your job is to translate and make them want what you offer as a solution for their business problems. They don't need anything else. They just need a solution for their own problems. And maybe you're now thinking, I don't even know what that means. Can you give me an example? Well, I can. So in my capacity as an IT analyst at Aldi South, I was working on purchasing tools or softwares. For example, also the recycling tool. I don't want to go into a lot of details, but back then, England had no recycling tool when Germany at that time was already working on a lot of recycling projects. So it was a very old machinery versus I don't even understand why we should recycle. Hence, we don't even have any recycling measures, let alone the capacity to sort of like calculate how much aluminium we can return, etc. So now I enter the stage. The software developer from Austria said, well, we can do the same thing for recycling in Germany and Austria and apply that to England. But I need a lot of information. For example, this and this and this. And the way he talked was not easily understood by someone who is in buying, no IT affinity, and without understanding how recycling works. Hence, I had to translate back and forth between the English buyers versus the developer. And then we co-created an Excel file which looks like the wallpaper for all the different situations of cans, bottles, whatever, different sizes, different suppliers, everything. And then we had to include percentages, everything. And to me, it wasn't really a sophisticated problem, when you can run regression models, etc. Then obviously that is more like very easy math. On the other hand, it was hard for me also to understand because I had no business background, but I was asked to translate that to the business world. So that was something that my boss said, this is a task for you. No one else can do this. I know you are able to work with data, so make the best out of that. And I managed to do that. Co-created that with the developer, but also with the business side. I was the project lead for that. And we managed to get the recycling challenge up and running. We fulfilled that. Legal requirements for an international discounter offering goods in the UK. Let's pause for a moment to respect those who sponsor this valuable episode. Remember, you are a postdoc transformer. You are highly intelligent, well-educated, a bachelor, master, and maybe you have already your doctor under your belt, or you are a postdoc. You are internationally experienced, fluent in English, a leader and expert in your prior research field. You're resilient, brilliant in adaptation and problem solving. You are eager to bring in the transferable and monetizable skills needed in many companies to embrace the future and to become or remain an innovator in their markets. Hey, postdoc transformer, are you curious to ask professors, principal investigators, visiting scientists, postdocs, PhD students, and candidates some in-depth life and career guiding questions? But it feels cringe, so you end up not asking? Buy our postdoc transformation card game to have more fun and valuable insights in your journal club, lab, and mentoring meetings, lab rotations, during conferences, panels, and breaks at the Mensa. you'll get 10 intriguing mentoring questions per career level. So 10 for PhD students, 10 for postdocs, 10 for professors, 10 for parental scientists, underprivileged and underrepresented and underserved scientists. Check them out with our discount coupon on the Postdoc Transformation shop, linked on PostdocTransformation.com. After this quick appreciation of our sponsors, we are now back in our insightful episode. I tried to make it less detailed, just applicable for this episode, but I'm trying to tell you that your scientific mindset will help you to gather all the information that is needed to understand the challenge and to understand what the requirements are and to work out a solution that is custom for that situation. I tested all of that with a due diligence that many of my coworkers who were not scientists were not capable of and also not interested in. And I think that your PhD mindset can help you make a difference at the workplace. And then, as in my case, it determines my future of work. At the end of the day, I'm still in that IT people technology interface role. And I love it here. And I hope that I really wish that you find something for yourself that you will enjoy much, even more, maybe than academia. So here's your actionable prompt. How can you translate what you can offer to the business world? And again, that is something that you will have to explain very often. And ideally, you customize that pitch for the company that you apply. So let's switch gears a little bit. And in segment 3, I want to apply this insight, what it really means for your daily work. So if you're currently working on your thesis, teaching students, or supervising junior researchers, here's what you want to ask yourself. How can you start describing what you do in business language? Can you quantify the key performance indicators and explain why and how these matter? For example, you're not just writing a thesis. You are managing a long-term solo project with high uncertainty leading to X first author publications. And you're not just mentoring students. You're leading and coaching X early career professionals. You're not just reviewing literature. AI can do that for you anyway. You're synthesizing insights to guide strategic research questions and derive decisions. So taken together, you are already doing the work of strategy, leadership, and innovation. Now you have to practice making that visible and relatable to business stakeholders. And that really is my key word, because in my lectures of biopsychology, I often say language shapes cognition and cognition shapes language. So when you immerse yourself in business language and using it to explain things that matter in the business world, then you become familiar using these words and they don't sound odd or cringe, because when you feel cringe and don't really feel like saying that, it will be obviously detected by a business recruiter. And then they also have this feeling of she's not ready yet. He's not ready yet to leap from academia into business. So I really want you to practice that. Words matter. They matter most for you. You are going to narrate your own postdoc transformation in new words into a new chapter. And I want you to be feeling it, to be comfortable and believing in yourself too. That all comes from practice. Believe me. Have you found this episode so far helpful for yourself? Well, maybe you can subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, or wherever you get our show. And also share this episode with your PhD bestie, because that would encourage us to help the underprivileged, underrepresented, and underserved early career scientists leaping into business. This would also ensure that you don't miss a future episode. Also, our subscription and listening numbers are key for finding the right sponsors for our show so that we can help you for free. I want to share with you my #1 lead generator, and you can start that even without a podcast. It's Typeform, and I use them to create free quizzes with open questions and multiple choice answers. I also predefine mandatory answers so I can qualify and score leads, collect their email addresses for later nurturing. I can brand my quizzes, for example, my Check Your Readiness to Leap Out of Science quiz with my audio and video files, so this way I can share specific podcast episodes or other information based on their answers, and then automatically send them an email after submitting the quiz. I even included a calendar invite for those leads who qualify specifically. So now I can help everyone on the surface for free and divert my valuable time only to my high-ticket leads on a deep level. I collect all the data automatically after my initial setup, as I have also integrated it with my remaining tech stack. If you want to try out Typeform for your own lead generation and qualification, DM or email me Typeform so I can share my experience and consult you. Please check it out via my link in the show notes. I only get a small financial reward if you become their customer using my Typeform link. And now, back to the show. All right. Now, when we're talking about communicating, obviously, LinkedIn is your sandbox. So let's jump over to segment 4, where I have a couple of LinkedIn ideas how you can build visibility. And these are the prompts that I give to my coaching clients as well, so they're yours today. For self-reflection, what's one way my research mindset helps me in non-research tasks? Can you write a post about that? Number 2, career exploration. Who in your network is already working at the interface of science and business? Can you reach out to them and connect? In your contact request, please mention what makes them an outstanding role model for your current phase of your postdoc transformation. And of course, you can also connect with me. If you do, say hi in your contact request, refer to the given postdoc transformation show episode. That would make my day. And you can also use LinkedIn for your personal branding. So you can share a story where your academic training helped you solve a business problem or navigate ambiguity. And that story doesn't have to be perfect. We acknowledge that you're not in business already, but it has to be real. It has to be relatable. It has to be convincing that you are trying to unbox yourself and contribute to the business world. So here's your actionable prompt. If you haven't, start your LinkedIn game today. Read, react, and maybe even comment before you write one of your posts. And you need to find scientists who made the leap. Follow and connect with them. There are thousands on LinkedIn already. All right, again, let's switch gears a little bit. Segment number 5, your scientific drive is not lost. And this is my opportunity to share a psychological model, theory, or concept from my lectures. And this time it's the self-determination theory by Bestie and Ryan. I often recommend because it has helped so many scientists I coach. According to that theory, people are motivated when 3 core needs are met. Number 1, autonomy. The feeling of being in control of your path. As a PhD or postdoc, you often lack autonomy due to funding dependencies. Look back. The topic of my PhD wasn't really my topic. It was the topic of my supervisor. And of course, I was asked and also expected to tag along, right? Whatever the topic was that I previously applied with, I had to dump it, which is okay. Because at the end of the day, my supervisor got the funding. She allotted that funding to me. I had to do the research that was in her own interest. So that was no autonomy for me. So the core need number 2 is competence. And that is the sense that you're good at what you do. And the longer you are in academia, the more journal clubs you experience, the more major revisions, minor revisions, and, all these occasions where people make you feel bad, make you look bad. You will doubt your competence because of the constant critique, and maybe that also fosters your imposter syndrome if you are prone to that. At the end of the day, everyone had been brilliant in school before entering PhD stage and postdoc stage. And suddenly, after a couple of years, everyone feels like not good enough. And that is the result of a systemic constant critique in academia. So that is a core need that is probably not really met. The third core need is relatedness, and that is the connection with others on a meaningful level. How related do you feel in academia? Let's be honest, many of us feel isolated. It's not the place where you make friends. You have inspiring discussions, yes, but you may not bond on an emotional level. And surprisingly, business done right can bring these three core needs back into balance. At least for me, that is true, because in business, I had to rely on others. I had to open up, trust someone that I have no idea what I'm doing. And it turned out to be okay, to be vulnerable. I was always anxious to be vulnerable in science because I had the feeling that I had to be the best. That was the bar of expectation. Let's pause for a moment to respect those who sponsor this valuable episode. I want to share with you my time and energy saver. As a professor for industrial and occupational psychology, I also teach about the future of work, and as a former IT strategy consultant, of course, I embrace AI to be a future-proof podcast producer of the PostdocTransformation show and the Creating Reorganized show. Descript is the video and audio podcast editing tool of my choice. I pay for their creator plan, and it's worth every dollar. Descript comes with an integrated professional remote recording studio for the best audio quality for your guests and you. For example, I record an hour interview with a guest or a solo, and instead of painstakingly doing a rough cut and deleting all the ums and ahs and filler words and rambling around, which I did for hours, I now click on Descript's AI, editing for clarity, and my rough cut is done in seconds or a minute. For fine-tuning, I edit text instead of audio waves, and I just insert all my pre-recorded music, intro, ads, and outro, like this one, in a matter of minutes. I can then easily export closed captions, fine-tune AI-driven summaries, chapter markers, and titles, which I feed into my show notes and podcast host. Descript even suggests the best clips for social media, and their video editor automatically includes the synchronized speakers, cameras, and audio captions. I can also include stock graphics or pre-recorded videos. You can find our short-form examples on our Instagram and TikTok at PostdocTransformation. If you want to try out Descript for your own podcast editing, DM or email me, Descript, so I can share my experience and consult you. Please check it out via my link in the show notes. I only get a small financial reward if you become their customer using my Descript link. Thanking our advertisers for their financial support, we are happy to return to our inspiring episode. Now here's your actionable prompt. You can choose your new direction for your own postdoc transformation according to your vision of life. So why don't you find a better, more social playground so that you can grow by solving real-world problems, less theory, and very much hands-on and fast? I really do think that for your own maturity and mental well-being, it's great to experience a non-academic setting. In business, it's expected that you build a network, you build teams and communities. And this is really what makes leaders successful in business. This is not the solo contributor mindset. You have to be a team player. So yes, your scientific mindset just needs a new application, a more social human playground. Okay, let's think about this. Can you now think about your core needs? How ready are you to meet them in your ways? What exactly would meet your core needs to your satisfaction? Can you write them down so that you can consider them in your postdoc transformation? Now let's go to the most important segment for today, which is segment number 6. Apply all of that into your own side project. Here's your actionable prompt. Can you design a micro side project using your research skills and a bit of automation? For example, if you are sampling organisms in a repeated way, how can you create an app that will help you manage all that? Or if you are always interviewing people, or if you're always scheduling appointments to test your patients or whatever, how can you apply automation to that and build an app with AI so that you save time or get less friction so that you can focus on your research and on your teaching or whatever? For example, if you are always teaching the same curriculum, can you enrich that teaching material in a low-effort way? And beyond teaching, maybe you are also interested in helping your own bachelor and master's students entering the business world. Create a curated newsletter summarizing top professional industry trends for your own bachelor and master's students entering the job market. And to be honest, that will help you do as well if you want to enter the job market, obviously. And can you learn how to use AI to gather and sort content weekly? That will be a pretty nice application of automation in your niche. Hey, before we continue, we want to appreciate those who finance this valuable episode for you. So far, you have learned all my favorite marketing and sales tools. Now, how can you bring all the data from your audience, leads, and clients together so you can serve them on a value ladder and for the long term? Even after multiple touchpoints with you, you want to remain on their mind for when they are ready to buy your service or product. I'm expanding my digital business, and I use ActiveCampaign as the centerpiece of all my services like email course, podcast, newsletter, show notes, website, sales page, merch shop, forms, whatever it is, as needed. As a former IT strategy consultant, I have high requirements on my tech stack, and ActiveCampaign offers so many integrations to all my other apps. I use it daily. If you want to create your own digital business with the various AI-driven lead magnets and funnel options, DM or email me, ActiveCampaign, so I can share my experience and consult you. Please check it out via my link in the show notes. Again, I only get a small financial reward if you become their customer using my ActiveCampaign link. After this quick appreciation of our sponsors, we are now back in our insightful episode. How else can you think of things that you can automate? So what would be a pain point you have daily, weekly, or monthly? For me, it was, for example, my direct messages all over the place in social media. I always got some questions like, how do I know whether I'm ready for leaping into business? What would be an indicator? So I created the Check Your Readiness quiz exactly for that situation, that someone asks me, how do I know whether I'm ready or not to leap out of science? And then I can refer the link to them. That quiz I created in 2023, so without the help of AI, but with a lot of automation in the back end. And I used Typeform for that. Fast forward to a couple of weeks ago, I created a workbook based on my curriculum lectures so that my students would be able to recap what I have taught them at home. Better, I created that with the help of AI, but it was all based from my own teaching experience and the curriculum that I'm teaching. This is also a current challenge that you probably face, right? How can you teach even better? And this is why I'm asking you, think about things that you can automate for your teaching, for your research. And then you will have a reason to dig into that using AI and maybe even agentic AI. Whatever you choose, I want you to document your process. I want you to share your learnings, maybe also on LinkedIn. And that's how you build visibility, confidence, and connections. Because suddenly people want your product. And the better you have documented your product, the better you are able to improve it in the next iteration. That product should be something that really helps you ease your mind in your daily activities. And that is why you should choose a pain point from your weekly, monthly, or even yearly situation in academia. If you want to go even deeper with creating a product that maybe you can even monetize, come join me over on my other podcast, which is the Creating Reorganized Show, where I walk you through tools, templates, workflows, and strategies to turn your ideas into income step by step. So let me leave you with this. Your career is not a ladder anymore. It's a bridge. One side holds your scientific training, your precision, your discipline, and how you encounter challenges and how you look at that based on data, based on processes, based on outcomes. And the other side of the bridge holds the world of business opportunities and meaningful work beyond the lab. That bridge, you can build it step by step through language, communication, visibility, skill translation, and a little bit of courage. If this hits home, you will love our episode, number 60, Build the Bridge to Your Future of Work, as linked in the show notes. Oh, and one last word. As I often see that postdoc years are coined as junior training. And, for us in Germany, there's this tenure track thing, and then suddenly you can become a junior professor. The first time I heard that, I felt myself cringe. I don't think that after your postdoc, you should be called a junior professor. There's nothing junior about you anymore. Your PhD journey was not a detour. Even if you leave academia, it was training at the highest level. As a postdoc, you are beyond the training wheels. Do not start a postdoc position or your next one if you aren't determined to become a professor. Really, training season is over. In today's time, the opportunity costs are higher the longer you stay in academia. So to wrap up this episode, your scientific mindset is not a liability. It's your key to determine your future of work. And business, it really is not a bad compromise. It's not a compromise at all. It's not inferior to science. It might be your next lab where your tools are insight, curiosity, clarity, and human connection. I remember myself thinking this is the best social experiment ever when I was working in business, because then I could see all the theories come into place, come into life. Don't let anyone else narrate your postdoc transformation. It's yours, and you build it according to your vision of life. Honestly, I'm so proud of you listening today, for daring to think differently as compared to your peers and faculty at grad school. And I really ask you for this one favor. If you found this helpful, share it with someone who needs to hear this message, ideally your PhD bestie. Maybe that person is still unsure about leaving academia, or maybe even that mentor who always believed in your potential. Until next time, keep building your postdoc transformation according to your, yes, vision of life. Do you want a transcript of our episode? And our episode sponsors answers to all 6 bold questions so that you can choose to apply. Do you want to nominate your potential employer of choice so that we can ask them our bold questions? For all of that, click on our links in our show notes and on our website, www.postdoctransformation.com. Remember to check your readiness to leap out of science and to enroll in our free email course, Career Transition Made Simple. Thanks for your attention. I'm Professor Dr. Eleanor Soei-Winkels, the host of your seasonal Postdoc Transformation show. Postdoc Transformation.